All right, folks, welcome back. Very special interview with Alonzo Lunsford coming up in just a few minutes. Retired sergeant. He was shot by Nidal Hassan 7 times in 2009. You're not going to want to miss that interview. Big hour ahead in general. But I want to talk about something. I just went to Newsmax.com, unashamedly, unabashedly. I went to Newsmax.com. And the lead story is that there's another flaw in the Obamacare sign-up process. Now get this. You ready for this? Are you listening, mainstream media? And here it is. It's the sign-up window. It's the window. It slams shut. Let me read you here. More fallout from healthcare law. Until now, customers could walk into an insurance office or go online to buy standard healthcare coverage at any time of year. Not anymore. Many people who didn't sign up during the government's open enrollment period that ended on Monday will soon find it difficult or impossible to get insurance this year, even if they go directly to a private company and money is no object. For some, it's already too late. And we're talking about the sign-up window. It's too late. It's slammed shut. I mean, this is incredible. Now, am I crazy, or didn't we hear that there was an extension? Wasn't that the impression you got? Now, I'm not signing up for Obamacare. Thank God I don't have to yet. But wasn't that the impression when they said, oh, forget that March 31st deadline. You know, it'll be extended to sometime in April. I thought it meant it'll be extended till sometime in April. And I'm sure other people thought the same thing, but now they're finding that was not the case. With limited exceptions, insurers are refusing to sell individuals after the enrollment period for healthcare.gov and state marketplaces. They're not selling them insurance. They will lock out the young and healthy as well as the sick or injured. Those who want to switch plans are also affected. The next wide open chance to enroll comes in November for coverage in 2015. Now, I got to tell you something else. I was also under the impression that if you had a pre-existing condition, you weren't going to be denied. Or if you got sick, by extension, you wouldn't be denied coverage. Why do they have these closed windows? Why do they have these deadlines? Why don't they make it that you could enroll whenever you want? Why do they put a deadline to enroll? You know, folks, a little noted consequence of Obama's healthy care overhaul, which requires nearly all Americans to be insured to pay a fine, and requires insurers to accept people with health problems, right? I have people that can buy insurance, but the company shut them down. They won't take the application, said an insurance broker in Frankville, Pennsylvania. We're a free country. You should be able to buy anything you want, anytime you want. What's the purpose of closing the window? What's the purpose of deadlines when the website can't even handle the people when they rush on the deadline? You know what? Incompetence reigns supreme. We were a great nation. And in the last 5 years, we've become much less of a great nation in so many different areas. I think we should be getting pretty close to speaking with Sergeant Lunsford, if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to get ready to do that. And he will join us. So before we get to him, of course, a retired Army Staff Sergeant shot by Nidal Hassan. I want both of us to watch this, and then we'll talk about it right here. Give it a listen, give it a watch.
13 people killed, including a pregnant soldier, and 32 shot, none of whom received the Purple Heart or any of the additional veterans' medical and financial benefits given those wounded or killed in war, because the military, to the outrage of the victims, has apparently deemed this workplace violence.
Joining us now is Staff Sergeant Alonzo Lunsford, retired Army Staff Sergeant, who was shot 7 times at Fort Hood by Major Nidal Hassan in what was obviously a jihadist terrorist attack. And Sergeant, it's so nice of you to join us. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. It's a pleasure being here.
All right. Let me ask you, first of all, when you heard that there was another shooting at Fort Hood. What was going through your mind?
Well, I was initially, and then anger set in, and then after that, I was thinking about the families of those soldiers. That's especially when they start saying the amount of soldiers that were wounded, and then the ones that were killed during the shooting. Because I was reflecting back on after I was hit, I don't want anyone to go through what we went through on a military base here in the United States, and that was really sad.
Yeah. Do you think, Ray Odierno said that he feels that lessons were learned in 2009. He testified before Congress yesterday, and he felt that those learned lessons helped in the situation the other day and might have helped save lives. Do you believe that lessons were learned?
Well, I definitely believe lessons was learned, and I believe that the lessons that we got the training from helped minimize the blow. Because had we been doing things we were doing in the past, it would have been a lot worse. But luckily, the response time was good, and it wasn't as many killed and wounded as it was when the shooting happened with us.
Let me ask you this. There's been a lot of talk that there should be guns, that soldiers should be allowed to carry guns on the base. And if that had been the case with Nidal Hasan, maybe the carnage would have been lessened. And if that had been the case yesterday or 2 days ago, maybe the carnage would have been lessened. Where do you stand on giving soldiers the ability to carry weapons on their own base?
Well, I support that 100%. I do. And the reason why, because it was stated yesterday that DOD policy where they don't support that everyone will have a weapon on them, but times have changed. And now that you have terrorists that are willing to strike us on our own soil, we have to be ready at a minute's notice to repel the attack, and also it's a deterrent. Because anyone that would even think about doing something like that, it would just make them think twice. Now, let's look at it this way. The gentleman that did the shooting, he used a Smith & Wesson 45, which carries a magazine capacity of approximately 8 rounds in the magazine, one in the spout. So saying that meant that you had 16 that were wounded, excluding himself, 3 that were killed. So that meant that he had time to reload. See, then when you have time to reload, that gives you time to think. Even if you're using a combat reload, it still gives you time to think. Now, if you had every military person on the base that had a sidearm, even if he would have started shooting, and he would have thought twice about reloading, like, wait a minute, you know what, it's not a thing for me to do. And even when the MPs responded, then he might not have taken the same action that he did that day by killing himself.
Do you think that if there had been that rule allowing you guys to carry, that maybe you wouldn't have been shot?
Well, I'm not going to say that I would not have been shot. I may have been shot, but at least it would have given me the opportunity to give Major Hasan the chance to give his life for his God, who he was following, and also to give him an opportunity to carry on with his jihad, where he wouldn't have to worry about doing it again, because I would have sent him to Allah and all her versions.
All right, now let me ask you about that, and I want to play a soundbite here from Police Sergeant Kimberly Munley, who was one of the heroes of the 2009 attack, and she was greeted and given a recognition at the State of the Union by the President. You were invited to the State of the Union, but let me let you hear what she said a couple of years after she appeared at the State of the Union, and this is on ABC News again. Give a listen.
Betrayal would be a good word.
Munley told ABC News the president broke the promise he made to her that all of the victims and their families would be well taken care of.
So when he told you, we're going to take care of you, that did not turn out to be true?
No.
What would you say to the president?
If I were to see him again, again, it's not about me, but I would just beg him to please take care of.
All right, you said, oh man. I know that's got to bring emotions to you as well. But I want to ask you, first of all, this show has been very active in trying to get this whole nonsense changed from this workplace violence to the rightful characterization of terrorist act. But do you feel the president has betrayed you too and let you down?
Yes. Now, let me explain this to you. Kim and I are very close. We're both from North Carolina. And Kim was a very soft-spoken person. And when you played the bite, it was almost as if Kim was standing right here beside me. And if I was given an opportunity to talk to the president, this is what I would share with him. Mr. President, my commander-in-chief, after our shooting, it was stated that we will be taken care of. Now, I'm not going to point the blame with a finger directly at you. Only thing that I ask that you do, command and control. Make sure that the people that you are in command of do their jobs. Because directly after the shooting, it sounded good to say that. Because a lot of times people think about saying stuff that they think that we want to hear instead of acting upon their impulses. That being the case, man, that is the wrong thing to do, because if you don't own up to what you say you're going to do, then eventually people are going to call you out about it. So that being the case, then that's where we are today.
So you're called.
It makes you think.
Yeah.
It makes you think.
Well, so you believe the president betrayed you, and you would be getting so much more money and so much more help. You know, the president actually referred to this terrorist act as an act of terror in an unofficial capacity not that long ago in passing in a speech when he was talking about terrorism in this country. So, I mean, I just can't understand why they won't change that classification. We have a minute. Tell us what it means, what it would mean for you personally if they change that categorization.
Okay, first of all, what it would mean is that a lot of our benefits and our medical retirement in the aftermath of the shooting, we will receive the whole gambit. It was stated before that everything was done for us that would be done for any other soldier that was wounded in combat. That's a lie. Just like they said that it was not any awards that was given out after the shooting. That's a lie. It was 3 award ceremonies that was given out after the shooting. Now, the Purple Heart is an award that most military personnel, they don't want to get it because it involves pain and suffering. However, there's a benefit package behind having the Purple Heart. And then that's a token of recognition for you shedding your blood, sweat, tears, and sacrifice for our country. Then when you're medically retired, you have people that medically retired from the military that they're only receiving $268 a month in compensation.
Wow. So
like George Stratton. That kid was right out of high school, joined the military, and that's all he gets, and he can't work another job.
we got 10 seconds. Do you think that this will be rectified? Do you think the president will do the right thing eventually or not?
Oh, yes, he has to now, because you can't duck and hide behind it.
Okay, listen, Sergeant, God bless you. We're going to keep this issue alive. Thank you so much for your service and your sacrifice, and everyone's going to try to make this right.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sergeant. Thank you very much. All right, folks.
You're welcome.
We're coming back right here on the Steve Malzberg Show. Grave, grave injustice to our men and women in uniform. Don't go away. Newsmax Television.